All right. So somebody sent me this video here, and it is called "The Hypocrisy of Petty Paige." It was released today. Smaller creator named I don't know how to say this. Eammortal.
Petty Paige is.
All right, relax. Is that how you say it? Eammortal? I don't know. It's an interesting name. It's probably about the hypocrisy of Petty Paige. Go figure, right? Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I disagree with Petty Paige on pretty much everything. But I still find that her videos refreshing. Because in all honesty, if we're going to be honest here, most of the stuff around Trisha Paytas is boring. Most of it's the same thing Trisha Paytas did this bad thing she's done 100 times. Oh, she did this bad thing in the past. I know. You know? So, like, watching a Petty Paige video, it's a breath of fresh air. It's like, hey, look, I have a kind of a bad perspective on this. I was like, oh, great, let's do something. It's different. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't agree with her, but I find it interesting. Yeah, I find it refreshing. It's better. It's better than listening to the same old, Trisha Paytas was on. My wife was telling me she was watching Trisha Paytas' TikTok live, and she's like, "Do you know Papa Gut?" And then everybody was yelling at Trisha, and she intentionally ignored it because she was reading everything. And then somebody's like, "Yo, Trisha, what the fuck? She's eating Doritos, and she says she's vegan." Everybody's like, "That's not vegan." And Trisha's like, "Oh," and then she put it to the side and pushed it, probably saving it for later because she's not really vegan. But anyway, let's watch this. The hypocrisy.
Petty Paige is a T channel who has recently been caught slandering YouTubers in the commentary community, using her skin color as an excuse, and she has been trying her hardest to deplatform people who she doesn't agree with. In this documentary, we will be looking in depth into how she fell from grace, or was she ever highly respected.
I don't know.
Commentary is occupied by 90% white people. At some point, we have to acknowledge that most don't want me occupying that space.
Maybe. But, dude, I hate this because, like, you guys know I have, like, a political background, and I'm kind of, like, a little more educated on things than other people. Here's the thing, and, like, no one's gonna... I'm, like, lighting myself on fire here. This is the thing. A lot of people, like, a lot of non-white people that end up being popular or famous, they tend to have, like, whiter features. Because most audiences are white, like in this place, and white people in general have subconscious biases. You know what I'm saying? And they feel more comfortable consuming a content creator that looks more white, right? So I talk about this in a lot of different videos about how there is a thing where all people have it, where when they see an unfamiliar person of the same skin color, they perceive that person as more human than an unfamiliar face as another skin color, and it's not until they get to know that person that goes away, right? So it's one of the reasons why people are able to get more popular. It's like you look at somebody, it's like, oh, look, this person looks more comfortable. It's something that's like subconscious. You don't really, you're not really aware of it usually. And it's when we talk about like, oh, 90% of content creators are white, well, I would argue most likely the other ones probably have very like Western features outside of their skin color for the most part. And I'm just bringing that up just as a point of education. It's kind of like a reality. And I think it's a good thing to bring up because if you could be aware of your bias, if you could be aware of that fact, right? If you can go, okay, I'm a white person, and I'm now aware that my brain perceives black people generally as less human than white people when in an unfamiliar setting, you might feel more comfortable watching a black content creator you may not have watched in the first place because you're aware of that like subconscious bias. So it's a good thing to acknowledge and try to understand. Anyway. No one's that self-aware. Well, if you think about it, you become self-aware in that capacity. Do I think that way? I don't know. Maybe. I probably without really knowing. I mean, I don't really watch YouTube, so well, I do on YouTube. That's pretty much the only time I watch it, and I'll watch whatever you send me. So I probably do have it. I'm not really. I don't notice it, or try not to.
Before we discuss Petty Paige any further, we need to have a look at who Petty Paige is. According to her YouTube description in the About tab, she makes drama and gossip videos about YouTubers and internet influencers. According to her, her motto is, "In Britain we don't spill tea, we drink it." Later on in the video, we will be disproving this statement, exposing her false accusations and slandering, which began around the 15th of June this year. Augie RSC got in a heated argument with her because she falsely accused him of racism.
Okay, we'll see what we got.
The problems with Petty Paige arise from her obsession with Keemstar, to her slandering other commentary
like in a good, like in a way where she doesn't like him or does like him or what?
Community members. Let's look deeper into the message that Petty Paige posted, which garnered a reaction from Augie RSC. The tweet read, "What's it like being a black content creator? This, always this."
Well, I'm a little curious.
The tweet read, "What's it like?"
Okay. Hey, doll. Augie and his crew plus Edwin talked about you in his live stream night around an hour, 8 minutes into the live stream, trying to incite hate towards you. The reason I'm telling you is because Ed served my friends' channels with what could possibly be his last strike over commentary he did featuring Dasha and actual interview, plus clips that were used under fair use. I did report any comments that I felt were abusive, and Def Noodles was in the comment thread, and people were making lynch jokes, black noises. I blocked them. What is it like being a black content creator? Also, this I don't really know what. So this is Petty Paige. Okay. Oh, what's it like being a content creator? Okay, this, always this. Okay.
Like being a black content creator. This, always this. The typical, "I feel sorry for me because I am insert race."
Well, if that was happening, then if that thing was happening, that listen, it's quite possible Petty Paige is full of shit. However, there is a very common thing that happens online, and the basic narrative is black people are too sensitive. It is a very common narrative that, like, people, like, for instance, if someone uses the N-word, and it's like, it's just a word, bro, and then like a black person gets up, you're just too sensitive, you're a black person, you're too sensitive. It's a real thing. Now, it's possible all of that was made up, but, like, that's a thing that happened. So if those things were happening that we read in the thread here, that, like, they were making lynching jokes, etc., then, like, yeah, that's an experience that a black content creator would be having. By the way, nice, you have 1K bits badge from Smudgy. Thanks so much, brother. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of, you know,
expecting every one of your followers to come to your aid, to defend you, and attack and defame another channel. The next tweet,
well, was it false?
Read, "Hey doll, Augie and his crew plus Edwin talked about you in his live stream, trying to incite hate towards you. The reason I'm telling you is because Ed served my friend's channels with what could possibly be his last strike over commentary he did feature Dasha, brackets, an actual interview, plus clips that were used under fair use."
I'm gonna see something. Sorry. Bro, what,
the typical, "Oh, what's it like?"
I want to see if I can find the full video. I'm not gonna be able to find it. Anyway.
His last strike over commentary he did feature Dasha, brackets, an actual interview, plus clips that were used under fair use. I did report any comments that I felt were abusive and harassment targeted toward you, but I know you can handle yourself. Not sure though if you want him/them featuring your own tweets on his stream. Obviously, the person who wrote this isn't very intelligent, since they did not know that you can show anyone's tweets in a YouTube video. Also, it's very fitting that the person is a snowflake, not being able to handle whatever they are saying about Petty Paige. Overall,
well, what were they saying?
Whatever this person is saying isn't trustworthy, and there was no evidence provided, but there was another DM shown. It said Def Noodles was in the comment thread, and people were making lynch jokes, black noise jokes. I blocked them, but they said a few things about you. This is funnier than the last DM. Black noise jokes. What the are black noise jokes? You gotta be joking.
Wait, I'm so confused. Like, so far. So what you would do at this point is, you would say, like, okay, so they were making these claims, and, like, here's the video thumbnail or whatever. Here's the video, an hour and 8 minutes in. So, like, let's see if those things were happening, and then you would discredit it. But we're not doing that. What we're doing is we're like, oh, we're kind of just going with the black people are too sensitive. And like, that's just not it, bro. Like, oh, they're just a snowflake. Okay, but like if someone's in there making lynching jokes and making monkey sounds or something, or I would assume that would be the racist noise you would make. Or yeah, like ooga booga. I mean, that's what I would assume. It's like racist bullshit. It's not like, then that's a fucking valid thing. And all Petty Paige said was like, this is what being a black creator is like, is getting fucking attacked for your race. And it's like, if these are like, what you have to prove that to be not true. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15. I'm trying to find like the page, you know, like, let me see.
Him/things. And there was no evidence provided, but there was another DM shown. It said Def Noodles was in the comment thread, and people were making lynch jokes, black noise jokes. I blocked them, but they said a few things about you. This is funnier than the last DM. Black noise jokes. What the are black noise jokes? You gotta be joking, because that sounds racist. Making out that she is an animal because of her skin color. As well as this, how do you block people in a live stream chat? The real
I think you can do that.
question is, how do you block people on YouTube? I'm pretty sure Augie's chat is tame enough not to make lynch jokes. Augie RFC responded with a video titled Responding to Petty Paige's Lies About Me, where he covered this tweet specifically, where he debunked her main point that the commentary community was racist, which was a
well, listen, man. I've seen some of the tweets, and some of these people are you would say what you would say that they're based, all right? They're kind of racist. Yeah, man. It's a lot of young kids making edgy jokes. It's kind of true. I'm just saying, man. Let's see. So apparently this is the video. And it's an hour and 8 minutes in. I'm just gonna verify it. I'm gonna go look in here. Right? This
as soon as I quote tweet them, or B, change their names so that my fans don't find out who the fuck they are is insane, alright? Like, I quote tweeted one guy, and instantly, he changed his name. Then he did it again. 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 He changed his name 5 fucking times after I quote tweeted him once. Alright, these people are fucking, it's insane to me. Alright, and some of the people have been pretty mean too. I think I called this one girl, like, this one girl was going after me, and I saw she had a link to her bio, a Patreon link, and I saw that nobody was donating to her. So, first of all, I shunned her for some reason, and then she was like, oh, you're gonna shun me for that? And I'm like, oh, I can shun you for being a poor artist with, no donators, which is kind of fucking sad. You don't have any money. You have like this donation goal to like help pay for my art tablet, and nobody donates to it. I think that's kind of funny. Alright, so, and then they delete their accounts. It's like, is that all it takes?
I just want to say something absolutely nuclear. In the past, I think I said something like, why are there not more women in the commentary community? And I just want to say not all women.
Why the fuck did you say that?
I mean, not all women, but like, to be fair, I'm kind of glad.
Some of them,
in a certain
actually,
way,
that's not true.
I'm kind of glad in a certain way that like there aren't. Because we get into arguments with Petty Paige, and then like she'll like start shit with us, we'll reply to her, and then she'll be like, the white boys in the commentary community don't like me being around her being a black female and stuff like that. So she pulls that card. And like every time I talk about Jessie Smiles in any capacity, whether it's to say I think her video on Gabby Hanna was bad, they're like, don't you know that she was a victim of such and such? And I'm just like, yeah, but like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm sorry that happened and like all that. But like,
why does that even enter the conversation?
The commentary you talk about 9%. White people at some point we have to acknowledge that most still want me occupying that space. It's possible. I don't know if that is what it is. It's possible, but you know, this could be playing like victim.
Because I don't know.
Like it could just be a write-off and being like, "Oh, valid criticisms against me aren't valid because it's all racism."
It's like you're just going after a victim of this. It's like I'm not going after them for that.
Nobody's going after people because they're victims or because they're black or because they're a woman. Okay, maybe I do that a little bit sometimes. Whatever, the woman part. But it's like most of the time.
Well, people do that sometimes.
When I have an argument with somebody, that's not the crux of my argument. Is that, oh well, I'm gonna make fun of you and that's all I do. Usually I have a point attached to it that nobody refuses, or that people refuse to respond to. So I just go ad homonems because that's all people respond to. All right, but it's like, why is
it's just a lot of people making fun of women in here, which is like whatever. Women are stupid.
Relevant to the conversation that X person is a victim, so you can't talk about them. All right.
We're calling her a pig, so I don't know if that would be racist.
Here's a nuclear take. All right, since this stream is I don't give a fuck stream. Here's the nuclear take. All right, if your victim status is so relevant to the conversation that nobody can talk to you without acknowledging your victimhood and just refusing to criticize you, right, maybe you shouldn't be in the industry. All right, if that's so important, if you being a victim just cripples your ability to have conversations with people, maybe you need to get out. All right, maybe this ain't for you. All right, I'm sorry, but why is that relevant to the conversation? So and so's a victim. Okay, and we're not talking about that right now. Shut the fuck up.
It's like you can't argue.
I mean, if they are the victim, that seems like kind of a shitty.
My point is bad. Like if I say like, well, I don't think this video is very good because it has lots of drawn-out segments.
So far, I'm not seeing anything like racist in the chat though, and like their shits really just boils down to like probably a bit of ignorance.
A lot of evidence and a lot of emotional arguments, and people go like, dude, like, trauma, and I'm like, all right, but come on, man, just let me fucking. I can't say anything, literally nothing, because like if I say a video is bad, then people go, oh my god, he's criticizing the video. If I say a video is bad about somebody who has like a traumatic experience, they go, oh my god, he's a fucking rape apologist, and like dude,
this shit's gotta go.
Things a lot harder.
Okay, yeah, we're starting to see the racism. Okay,
it's super
this shit's gotta go. This community, this art, I don't know, T community, art.
Yeah, so why is there a dancing gorilla? I'm assuming that's about Petty Paige. Okay.
They gotta go. These people are fucking cancer, all right? Here's a big reason, all right? Whenever there's a drama that goes on that I just don't particularly care for, a lot of it has to do with the people that I see surrounded by it, talking about it, right? A couple of them are cool, all right? But most of the people that I see covering this story, for instance, seem pretty fucking crazy and vicious and bad faith people in general, and just people that I generally do not want to talk to, converse with, or have anything to do with, all right? A big part of what makes me decide whether or not I want to care about a story is if I see that everybody surrounding that story is a fucking freak, all right? It makes me like not want to. Okay, if they care so much about some particular issue or whatever, suddenly like I feel like I shouldn't care about this because of the people that are surrounded by this, right?
You see
if you have like a pile of shit, all right, and you see a bunch of like flies flying around, you want to be near that shit. That's what like the visual that I see when I see there's drama and like art people and tea people are covering it. It's just like flies flying around like a pile of shit. So they're trying to do it. It's weird.
Yeah, so right here, like lynch the art community. I think they're referring to Petty Paige. Lynch the art community. Yeah, there's some racism in here, man. It's like, you know, and it's not their fault necessarily. I would say that their general take on like black content creators is a little ignorant. But this is still in there. It seems like there is some racism in the chat.
The narrative shifted. It was like initially the narrative was like her friends aren't saying anything, right? Like they're not talking about it. And then the minute we said shit, and we're like, all right, well, I mean, like the lolcow stuff is kind of bad. There's also some extremely circumstantial evidence that she's like a crazy stalker, but not enough for me to go, oh, holy shit, like definitely true. Everyone's just like, oh wow, you guys are just shilling. Nobody asks for your opinion and all this stuff, or Shannon's fucking swindled you with money or something like that, or you're just protecting your friend. Like I'm basically an acquaintance with this person. I hardly talk to them. All of my conversations with her have been public or in group chats.
I don't think I've talked to Creepshow Art since she came on my show last November.
Tommy heard her voice for the first time in one of these videos.
Really?
Yeah, dude. He's like,
I don't think I've talked to Creepshow. Who did Creepshow debate on my show?
Creepshow debated,
I'm gonna move on from this in a minute, but
Unirock.
Okay, that's the last time I think I talked to Creepshow. Actually, I think she DM'd me when the John Swan drama broke out, and she DM'd me. She was like asking like, "Hey, what happened? I heard like your friend lied to you." She DM'd me. I didn't even respond to her. Not anything against her. I don't really respond to people that I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, so I just.
None of us watched her videos are good. Wait, what?
John Swan said that he DM'd Shannon.
Oh no.
Wait, are you joking?
What is that about?
Oh,
I've been there.
I commented that under.
He did not say I've been there. There's no way you said that.
Well, I don't know if he said it, but I mean, it's kind of funny.
Yo, he didn't say what he said. Under that, he wrote, I empathize with you, Creepshow. That's what I said.
yeah, I think we're pretty much good here. Yeah, so I'm seeing like a little racism in here in the chat. I wouldn't say it's enough for them to like notice, so I wouldn't say it's like active, but I would say that it's reasonable enough for somebody to be like, yeah, they're making fun of like black people. And I understand that, like, listen, it's possible that Petty Pages uses her blackness as like a get out of jail free card. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I think that you're kind of just proving the point when there's racism in the chat after she's like, oh, you're only attacking me because I'm black, and then you're like, oh yeah, N-word, you know what I mean? That's not really, you're not exactly proving anything, you know, you're just proving everything. Okay. All right, let's keep going.
Complete lie, as proved by him.
Her brain is like a puddle of liquid that just cannot function. All right, she's stupid. Back in December, Def Noodles called me out. Well, actually, I called Def Noodles out, and Def Noodles, in response to me calling him out, said that I was going after him because I'm a fascist who hates Brazilian people. Again, a completely and totally unfounded claim, obviously. Apparently, Petty Paige, who's another tea YouTuber, is friends with Def Noodles, and, well, she sided with Def Noodles and called me racist. It prompted me to, initiate conversation and be—
Is Def Noodles Brazilian? I didn't even know that.
Like, whoa, hey, what's going on here? Why do you think I'm racist?
We're watching the hypocrisy of Petty Paige.
Then she refused to elaborate. I then challenged her to come on my live stream, to which she replied, I'm too busy sticking shit up my asshole for OnlyFans. That was genuinely her reply.
Does Petty Paige actually have an OnlyFans? Not that I'm curious or anything else.
And it's probably, to this day, one of the worst replies I'll ever get on Twitter. I mean, just it's actually terrible.
It's not.
I think that that's a reasonable reply here. I don't think that like he was being racist. Again, I think that he might have been a little bit ignorant, but there seemed to be some racism in the chat, and I only watched like maybe 3 or 4 minutes, so.
Worst replies I'll ever get on Twitter. I mean, just it's actually terrible.
It's not a surprise that she agrees with Def Noodles. Just like her, he loves to slander others. Both of them tried using racism accusations against the commentary community. Whenever you check the comments on her posts attacking the commentary community, everyone in the comments section agrees with her, because she blocks just about anyone who disagrees with her, no matter what. Before I even heard of her, I was already blocked because she went and blocked every single person who liked Vito's tweet on her. Check out my video on Def Noodles Noodles to look at the incredible number of screw-ups he has made. Hypocrisy in the response covered this tweet. Petty Paige made saying, "She always brings race into it. Not sure if that's me, bro," with an out-of-context clip of a guy named Colton reposting an image of Augie kneeling on Nick Dioreo's neck, and Augie mentions how bad the drawing is, but Petty Paige takes it out of context to try and prove that they are racist somehow.
Can we see it in the right context? That would be really good. Like, that's one of those things where I'd have to see the correct context, you know? Yeah, I'd have to see I mean, we're not going to see it, so.
Remember earlier when I mentioned Deaf Noodles? Well, she
like
full-on went overboard defending him. See, the thing is, if it was just Def can't take criticism, they would have left it at that. But because he said, "I dunno, seems like you guys have racist tendencies. This may be a little deeper than what I'm doing here on the web," they are now vehemently trying to disprove.
I mean, listen, it's possible, bro. I mean, yeah, people throw around the word racism a lot, but there are like a lot of implicit biases here. Me personally, looking at Deaf Noodles though, not to be an asshole, but Deaf Noodles is very white passing. I don't think anybody would have assumed, unless I'm missing something. I don't think anybody would have assumed that he was whatever he's at, a Colombian or something, Brazilian. Sorry. Yeah, if he's on Twitter, if you could send it to me, that'd be great. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure Deaf Noodles has the "you're just being racist to me" card.
Than what I'm doing here on the web, they are now vehemently trying to disprove. While Deaf Noodles is being a complete
And of course you'd want to disprove you're racist.
idiot, trying to say that his detractors have racist tendencies because he can't handle the truth, that he can't handle criticism. His culture, heritage and upbringing, and using blanket terms like race baiting whilst in tandem saying he colours his videos to make himself look darker. He isn't really Brazilian. He saturated his thumbnails. He grew up rich. He only lived in Brazil a few years.
Is he going after? I'm so confused.
So according to Petty Paige, if you leave the country that you were born in and you only stayed there for a few years, you're immediately not from that country. He's not
I honestly don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
dark enough to completely validate their argument. This is a bunch of white people hounding this man because, and again, it started because he can't take criticism. If anything, it's showing that y'all can't take criticism.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know what the fuck her point is here, if I'm being absolutely honest. I don't even understand what she's trying to say. Like, I don't know what's happening. I feel like we're missing a lot of backstory here.
Lol. Why do you...
Like, it sounds like she's criticizing him there, but I don't really understand what's happening.
You always have to emphasize white people. It's like everyone who's against you is white because you just hate white people for some reason. Then you say they can't handle
Me too, bro. Fuck Whitey.
criticism when Deaf Noodles can't even handle criticism. Make up your mind.
Yeah, he's still Brazilian. So my point wasn't that he's not Brazilian. My point is that people in America look at things in very, like, for lack of a better term, black and white. So if you look white, you're white. Like, that's kind of how it is. I wouldn't, like, personally, I wouldn't have assumed Deaf Noodles would be, like, Brazilian or something like that. And my only point in saying that, and I don't know enough of the backstory, is that, like, I don't think anybody would look at him and go, like, "Oh, I don't like this guy because he's Brazilian." They would most likely just look at him and go, like, "Oh, it's a white guy," and they wouldn't have, like, any type of, like, bias or, like, you know, subconscious bias there.
Fine, idiot. But then, as if that isn't the funniest part, whenever the discussion of his racial background and ethnicity
Oh, so they're involving it in the conversation? Okay. This is all over
is
the
involved
place.
in the convo, where they are consistently proven to look dumb, they bring it back to, well, this isn't the discussion, then what is it? I like how throughout this thread, she provides no evidence to what she's referring to. So I can't confirm if they look dumb or not, but it's Petty Paige.
Paige is married to a white guy.
She's married to a white guy? Fuck, I thought I had a chance, bro. Shit, I'm married to a white guy too. Not just kidding.
She makes herself look dumb. It's
Oh, so are you trying to say that, like, Petty Paige can't be a racist because she's married to a white guy? That's not really true. Modern Warrior's super racist, and he's married to a white girl, so.
like someone saying, "You are not black," and me going, "Yeah, I am." And
You're not black, you're not black.
here's my proof. And then they are like, "Well, it's not about you not being black. It's about you referencing yourself as black to avoid criticism." Finally here, Petty Paige says something right. Many people like to say on Twitter that you aren't black and they treat it like it's sacred. Which
That's fucked up. People say it to me all the time, bro. It's obsessed with me because I'm black. You know, I mean, like, I grew up without a dad, so. I'm just kidding. It's fucked. Well, I'm not kidding. I did grow up without a dad. I'm more Hispanic because my mom, when she would... when I wasn't around, like when she was like working, because my mom worked like 50, 60 hours a week. She would leave me with like my second mom, Jeannie. She's Hispanic, and my mom would also tell her, and everybody that would watch me, she would always be like, yeah, if you need to hit him, beat the shit out of him.
Krenlights just subscribe.
Thank you so much for the sub. So I was actually a pretty good kid when I was around other people, because I didn't want Jeannie to beat the fuck out of me. So
stupid and just proves that like most people are racist on Twitter. Now we'll look at other controversies with the commentary community.
okay.
It's kind of difficult.
If you're confused, I saw Paige was going live, apparently talking about me. So I decided to check.
It's so weird, this whole commentary community thing, though. Like, people get so upset. Do I speak Spanish back? Of course. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Me llamo Papi Gut. Papi Gordo. Is that it? I don't know. People, when they get criticized in the... It's such a weird, like, toxic space. When people get criticized in the commentary community, they go fucking ballistic. It's crazy. And this is just a criticism on, like, everybody. Like, Keemstar called me out one time. I thought it was funny as fuck. People just get so offended. It's weird in general. It's kind of funny. It's just, I think it's funny because like it's a bunch of fucking crazy people. Me too, man. Online saying crazy fucking shit, and everybody's like really mean. Somebody criticizes you, and like they're a demon to you. Like it's crazy. Like I don't know. I feel like some of these people maybe grew up online too much. You're gay. Thanks, bro. Like, what the fuck? Dude, I'm in the middle of talking. This person has never talked to my chat before, and he just comes in here and calls. He's like, "You're gay." Like, that's the first thing he's ever said to me. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. It's true though. But yeah, man, people get so fucking offended. It's fucking weird. You know, I don't understand how people have that much hate like in them. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've lived in the real world until I was 30, and I had worked a real job, and I know what it's like working with people like you don't like, and then you learn to like them, and you learn to deal with different people, and then you learn to deal with bullshit, and like. You know, I've been fucked a lot, figuratively and literally, at my job. So, you know what I mean? It's like I don't know. I guess I just have thicker skin or something.
Check out and see what's going on here.
Have a nice
I want to
day,
see if
thank
she'll
you.
debate me. I challenged her on Twitter and she wouldn't do it.
Oh god, are you serious, dude? Get out of the chat.
Why?
Mods in here. Can we get this guy out of here? I have literally nothing to say to him.
You slandered me.
He's just so ridiculous.
Why are you afraid of a
Then
conversation?
make a video, okay? Make a video.
I did!
Make content,
I already
put it out
debunked
there.
you.
Tell people I'm a fucking terrible
Are they talking to each other, or is they just like having like a weird thing?
person. Why do you want this interaction with me? Fuck off.
On July the 28th,
So toxic. I think that's the problem. Everybody gets into like these toxic fucking food throwing matches, and nobody really sits down and has like a real conversation. It's kind of sad.
2021, Augie RSC started up a stream with the intention of debating Petty. In response, she started acting if she was a victim and started replying
It looks like she's watching the mysterious video.
with, "Make a video on me," because she knew she would lose in a debate against Augie.
I mean, it's possible, or maybe she just didn't want to deal with it, man. Like, I'm just saying, sometimes like it's just who gives a fuck. Like, what do you, you know what I mean? It's just like a weird thing.
But before I play the clip, please give this video a like and consider subscribing. By the way, I'm using a new microphone.
How do I type in her chat? What are her rules? Alright, I'll follow the rules. Avoid religious and political discussions? Lol. Alright, I guess I have to follow her to become a member of chat.
What's her thing? AGK
Back.
UK.
That's trauma. That would make you feel like you can't trust anybody. Not
Debate
just on
me.
the internet, but possibly even in real life. That's
5 stars
trauma.
on the side.
Why will you
Walking
slander
into
me
a
and
traumatic
block
experience, nobody did anything
me,
to her, so it's so
but not
bizarre
talk
see her
to me?
censoring herself constantly.
It sends a little
As
notif?
the victim of Creepshow art.
Oh, she's gonna see-
Because
she's gonna
she
start spurging
wasn't-
out.
she
Oh, no.
just wasn't told the truth.
I'm
This
just
is why
trying to get a
the
debate!
Was left on the scene.
I'm just trying to get a debate, bro.
Like, it's not the same. So, I don't know.
She slandered me on Twitter and then blocked me.
Oh my god, are you serious, dude? Get out of the chat.
Why?
Mods in here. Can we get this guy out of here? I have literally nothing to say to him.
You slandered me.
He's
I
just
gotta say, the music is pretty high.
Why are you afraid of a
Then
conversation?
make a video, okay? Make a video.
I did!
Make content,
I already
put it out
debunked
there.
you.
Tell people I'm a fucking terrible person. Why do you want this interaction with me? Fuck off.
I mean, it's possible she's dodging it because she thinks that she'll lose. It's also possible that she just doesn't want to deal with the drama. You know what I mean? Drama's not fun. Like, I honestly, at this point, like, I've been, like, the drama I had on TikTok was insane. Probably, I don't know, man. It's probably fucking worse than any of this shit, but that's also because TikTok doesn't allow you to fucking defend yourself sometimes. But, like, it's stressful, man. It's, like, unnecessary stress. So I get that. But I try to carry myself out in a way that's, like, not that stressful. So. Petty Paige is followed by Trisha Paytas. she must be in Trisha's pocket. You know, it's one of those things that like it's so annoying. People will say, oh, this person must be in this person's pocket. It's possible that people just like Trisha. I don't know why. I don't get it. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't fucking get it. But like, it's weird that everybody thinks that they're paid off. It's fucking annoying. People are like, you're paying off because you shifted your perspective a little bit. It's like, all right, shut the fuck up. It's annoying.
I already did. I debunked you, and you posted the same lie.
Debunk me, then there's nothing else to do. You won. Congratulations, here's your gold star. Like, burger off.
You posted the same lies I already debunked.
So then make another video.
Just talk to me. It's not
So
that
then make another
hard.
video debunking that too.
Petty Paige
Yeah, why don't just like leave at that point? She doesn't want to defend herself, whatever. Put that clip in there and then make a video or whatever.
knows.
You know what Trisha pays me? I fucking wish, bro. I could use the money right now. January's been horrible. I have 5 videos still under review for monetization. It's making me fucking angry, you know? I started a Facebook just to try to offset it because YouTube's getting upset at me. Or I'm getting upset at YouTube, you know?
She's in the wrong, but proceeds to hide cowardly and decides to play a victim just like a coward. Her only response is telling Augie to make a video on her. She never even tries to own up
I think it's like a fine response, you know? Like, whatever.
to her mistakes and just double down on her bad takes. She does anything to manipulate her audience to believe that she is.
I couldn't find the only thing. I was looking into it for educational purposes. I couldn't find it. So, but like, you know, because I don't actually want to look at it, but I couldn't find it. So.
the victim.
I'm banned.
Dude, you are literally like...
She's mad.
I don't want to talk to you.
That's true.
Why?
I don't want to talk to you. I don't think you understand consent, my dude. Like, I don't
Consent?
Oh, consent. Yeah, that's a little exaggeratory. I would say, like, it seems like he's not being particularly respectful of boundaries. But I get it. I think that's just kind of like the toxic aspect of the community. But yeah, like, they don't want to talk to you. Move on. It comes off as a little desperate.
Wait,
And if
what?
somebody says no, it means no, sweetheart. I don't want to talk to you.
I'm not asking to
Paige's OF is her naked yelling at her white husband. Shit, bro. That's like my fantasy, bro.
you. What are you talking about?
Thank you, mods. That's it. I like...
Petty Paige is trying to use the consent argument. One of the weak
See, like, you could send it to me, the link in the OF link in like my Instagram. I'd have to watch it with my, like, maybe I'll talk to my wife and maybe we'll make that part like the Mom and Papa Gut podcast. Like, we'll review it. We wouldn't show you guys, and then we'd be like, oh, okay, you know, because we did that with Nick Ocado in my. You can look it up. I reviewed Nick Ocato's OnlyFans. So,
weakest arguments you could use.
you think I'd make a good model for Trisha's clothing line? Sheesh, that'd be pretty cool.
Just to make Augie look bad in front of her audience.
Do you understand what I'm having to deal with? Like, that's weird.
How
That's
is it
like
weird?
behavior. Like, mad weird. Like, obsessive.
How? You talk about me
It's just
constantly.
strange. And it gives me the ick. Like,
Does she talk about him constantly, or was it like that one time? Is it worth $10? Shit, I'll probably make at least $11 on the video if I released it. So.
it actually gives me the ick. Like,
What does that
go
mean?
away. Ew.
The ick.
Go away. Stop talking about me then.
Say to him and she throws a tantrum about you at the same time.
I don't know. At this point, it's one of those things where like he probably should like go away. It's kind of immature, but then also she should just stop acknowledging that he's watching. Like, just move on. You know, everybody's got to toughen up.
Dude,
Yes, I'm terrified of Augie. I'm actually terrified of him.
Why?
He creeps me out in ways that I'll never be able to get over.
you
I
should
just- I
be
don't like
terrified.
him. That's it.
This is petty, so I guess that's where she gets her name from.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm the weird guy.
She acts as if Augie is abusive towards her. If she thinks
She
Augie
does
is
ham it up a
obsessive,
bit.
she has never seen an obsessive person before. She is either so manipulative or she's just really stupid. I can't tell at this point.
Nobody
I'm definitely the weird
you,
guy.
Paige. We just want you to defend your points instead of running away.
Exactly.
All the time like a child. Oh, how about just move on?
No,
Like,
fuck
I'm not
you.
gonna sit
You're
here
the
and
one who's
defend myself.
talking about me.
It is like a little weird that he's just dragging on. I guess maybe he's offended because he was called racist, so it's a reasonable response to get offended and like. But it seems like she's pretty much to me. It kind of signals to me that she's kind of like, you know, she's like, whatever, I don't care. Like, this is kind of a W. You could use this to make a video out of it, be like, hey, listen, she's not defending her points, and I think that's because she doesn't have any points, and she's a smelly fucking poopy wiener, and like everybody wins. You know what I mean? Well, not Petty Paige, but.
I don't understand why you guys want something from me and I'm just saying no, and that's not respecting.
You're not just saying no. You're literally lying about me, saying that I'm a racist, saying that I made jokes about like George Floyd and shit on my stream when talking about you. That's literally a bullshit.
I want to see that clip that they're referring to.
tried to say we promoted some racist art that like Colton drew or something. We denounced it. You're just such a liar.
It literally is that simple. Like, literally is that simple.
I like how her audience can see through her manipulation.
I don't understand this. Like, I've never, like, this is weird. Weird behavior.
Yeah, it's weird behavior. I'll tell you what weird behavior is, by the way.
And
You guys
he's
want to see
acting like a
weird
guy
behavior?
pushing you to come home with you. Do you know what it reminds me of? You know, like that kid in school?
Someone said, man, I must say, I normally watch your content on YouTube and only just moved to Twitch. I absolutely love the interactive nature of your community. It's so nice to feel connected. That's pretty dope, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Or sister. Or this sister. I don't really know, you know. You know.
Who gives you a punch, and then he's like,
Is she friends with Gabby Hanna? Shit, bro. I got a crush on Gabby Hanna. I'm not gonna lie. I know she's fucking insane, but
when really they just wanted to hang out with you. It's that kid who punched you instead of saying hello. Do you get what I mean?
I'm the kid who what are you talking about?
Just me, he says all this
I don't know. He reminds me more of like a little squirrely kid that would just kind of like talk a lot, and people would just chill out a little bit. But people would probably like him, you know what I mean? But they'd be like, dude, you talk too much, you know?
stuff about me on the internet, and he's like, come into my stream. Why? Why do I want to go there? I don't want to go there.
Yeah, you
Like,
don't
that's
want to come
weird.
here, that's for sure.
Come. Yeah.
The example she used is not even comparable. Also, I don't recall anyone who has acted that way to me during my time at school.
It's very weird.
You know what's weird?
The fact that you guys are following just to get banned is just bizarre to me.
This is weird
That's the
behavior.
Hey, thank you so much for the sub, brother.
Delusion
thanks for the gifted sub.
L_Jagged gifted
Damn,
a tier
bro.
1 sub
Thank you
to
so much.
Abstract Delusion _ They have given 14
Hey.
gift subs in the channel.
Abstract these nuts.
And you're not doing anything but trying to...
This is weird behavior.
Oh, it's like I have my TTS going, and then in the video there's more TTS going, so it's throwing me off.
Not accepting my debate after you slander me, and then your excuse being that you're playing with your pussy. That's weird behavior.
Let's see. Absolutely not. I literally am playing with my pussy. Anytime you suggest we go live, fucking schedules package. Ew, that's weird. That's just a weird thing to say. That's. I was talking about how he was being immature. That's a little like I get it. You do OnlyFans, but you don't got to be so graphic. That's also weird. How old is this kid? Because that feels like a weird thing to say to this guy. He looks young. I wouldn't probably be like, yeah, bro, because I don't know how old he is at this point. He looks very young, so I would just not talk about jerking off. Like, oh yeah,
just gifted one.
How old are you? 14? Yeah, I'm fucking playing with my dick right now. I don't know. Pretty sure he's her age. Oh, he's of age. All right, he looks young. I don't know. At least at the time. Thank you so much for the sub, brother.
Not accepting my debate after you slander me, and then your excuse being that you're playing with your pussy. That's weird behavior.
I could literally...
He's 20.
like,
Okay. How old is this? How long ago did this happen? All right, fair enough.
put all of the thumbnails on the floor and like roll to sleep in it in a blanket.
Okay.
Like, I don't care. There's
Fair
too many
enough.
videos for me to give a shit
I still probably wouldn't talk about playing with my wiggler. You know what I mean? It's a little weird.
about. You are more than free to take a look at them. Like, I don't care. If somebody says something about me that's like incorrect or true, I will say my part on it, and then once it's done, it's done. I'm not going to sit there and go into a debate with them. It's stupid. That's childish.
Debating is childish. Good one.
How old is she?
There isn't even that many videos. Even after the drama, barely anyone made any videos on her. So she's just being lousy with her excuses. She's too lazy to even take it.
She's not 45. If she is, she looks really good for 45. Let's be honest. Not 45 though.
Accountability to these lies. This is how far she'll go to defend herself.
Is she 30? She looks good for 30 too. What the fuck? I'm fucking 31. I look like dog shit. I actually look like absolute dog shit. Is she really 30? That's fucking nutty.
I can't believe this man is really throwing a big fit for being banned. It's just childish.
What do you mean? You're the one who threw the fit. I just showed up.
Guys, this is weird. Can you guys leave?
She's 29 years old apparently. Wow. September 4th, 1991. Oh, she's 30 now. Oh shit. That's nuts, dude. She has a fucking famous birthdays. You know, they asked me to do famous birthdays a while ago. I just ignored it and I just didn't care. They're like, it expires in a month, and then they asked me again and I just fucking didn't give a shit. So
Can we leave? This is weird. You guys are acting really weird now.
You guys are acting weird,
I've never
guys.
been
Cut it
so
out.
obsessed over in my whole
You're acting too weird.
Funded $10, making a valid criticism equals punching.
You have
her out.
175k subs. You can't just slander somebody and
why
expect
are we still watching this? I mean, like, we got the point here. She dodges it, but okay.
to get zero criticism.
Dude, the chat's
No,
owning
I'm happy
her.
with the criticism. Keep criticizing me. criticize me until the cows come home. Just fuck off.
Petty Paige is so manipulative. Even her fans are calling her out for her slandering. She's just digging her own grave, making herself look like a clown.
I'm playing with an Among Us.
You would know a lot about
Saying,
cows coming
just
home,
fuck off
wouldn't
and go
you?
do something.
Sorry.
Moderators, thank you so
How
much for
saucy
having
is
this,
that?
by the way. Like, it's just gross. So weird.
They're so
It's
weird.
actually, like, ruining the stream for everybody. Which is sucky because they didn't.
I'm ruining the stream. What the fuck?
$72.
I didn't mean to ruin the stream.
Pics on Twitter, lol.
Oh, poor darling. Are we meant to feel
Yeah, it was probably not her own fans criticizing her. I don't fucking know.
sorry for you? Because I don't care.
Oh god, I don't know how to do this. What's that?
Among
Can I just
Us.
press this button?
Why won't she debate
Look
me?
at that.
It's so simple.
Like, I understand why he wants to have the debate, but like she's been like, no. It is like rather obsessive to just continue this. You know, just clip her saying I don't want to debate you or whatever and just move on. It's just kind of weird to me.
It's so easy to prove that I'm a
Just
racist,
play Among
right?
Us.
I mean, I've been being racist against you for like 7 months, right? Shouldn't you have loads of examples? How hard could it be?
Yeah, Petty, how hard is it to provide evidence? You don't even bother to provide evidence, so you're basically digging yourself a hole. But Petty's too stupid to realize this, and it's not turning out well for her.
So
Anyway, let's move on
So toxic. Look, I got like an All Might thing. This is what we're doing during the stream now. And
to
we'll
our
watch.
next topic.
Yeah.
Her racism and hypocrisy.
Put it inside the Among Us. Now there's an All Might in the Among
All
Us.
this time, Petty Paige has been trying to accuse the commentary community of racism,
How cool is
even
that?
though she had no evidence at all. She's also a hypocrite for doing this, because
Yeah, I like
she
my hero.
herself
I have
is
my
racist
hero
towards
tattoo.
white people. And this isn't
Hell yeah,
even a
brother.
one-time
Well, you
thing.
can't be racist towards white people because it's power plus privilege.
I don't fucking know the bullshit. It's ridiculous. You can be racist towards white people.
What I'm about to show are
You want to debate me with that, Paige? It'll be a nice debate. We have a nice conversation, actually. I wouldn't fucking call you an asshole or anything, because that's fucking toxic as hell.
tweets that prove that Petty Paige is a massive hypocrite and a racist. The first tweet says, "White people have experienced a hate crime by me saying hello."
Hello, white people. Well, why is that racist? I would just have to see why they said that.
The tweet underneath says, "Hello, white people." I don't know why she has to specifically mention white people. She just has a problem with it for some reason.
I don't know. I think we need a little more context. Maybe she's just being a weirdo.
The next tweet says, "Commentary is occupied by 90% white people. At some point we have to acknowledge that most don't want me occupying that space. My followers see the difference in how I'm treated, but true say I'm not going anywhere."
Like, I don't see a lot of her interactions. What it seems like, though, is that, like, Petty Paige does seem to use the race card a lot. So she'll be like, "Oh, black people don't like me." And then, the response from the other people seems to be fine, but then some of the commenters of those, like, all, like in that chat, are kind of racist, you know. And that is something that's usually white people aren't facing that, except from Hassan. He's a very mean guy. He makes me feel. He calls me cracker with the hard R, though. I can't say it because nobody should say. You know, but you know what I mean. So yeah, you shouldn't be racist, people, but.
See, once
Obviously.
again, she is mentioning that there are white people in a certain group, and she's saying that they themselves don't like black people for some reason. She always has to play this victim narrative. This next tweet is a much weaker example, but it does show her once again talking down about white people.
I also got this turtle.
White people state institutionalized racism doesn't exist, and honestly, they are right. The countless amount of discrimination white people have to face should tell us we would stop whining.
Well, wait, I don't understand. White people state institutional racism doesn't exist, and honestly, they are right. The countless amount of discrimination white people have to face should tell us we should stop whining. Oh, yeah, it's being sarcastic. This isn't racist at all. This is just them. So this seems to be a sarcastic thing, saying that, like, hey, systemic racism basically exists. It does. Okay.
Discrimination white people have to face should tell us we would stop whining. Okay, I'll agree that it did exist at one point, but it barely exists at this point in time.
So, okay. So this is like one of those things where I do tend to believe that the most systemic racism is, I think that, most systemic racism is historical systemic racism. And I think that's undeniable. Like, a history of like slavery, segregation, denial of opportunity, et cetera, et cetera. Black people weren't people in America until like 1965. That being said, I don't think that there are a lot of examples of systemic racism now. I also don't. I'm not black, so it's kind of difficult to make that broad accusation, especially since there are different areas that have different experiences. And I'm from New York, and obviously I'm white. You know, but still, those historical impacts of systemic racism are still hitting us today. Like, it's an undeniable thing. It makes absolutely no sense that that black people are they're doing the worst in America. You know what I'm saying? It makes unless you think that black people are literally inferior to white people. The only explanation for why they're performing so poorly is because of a history of systemic racism, right? That being said, there are still some modern day examples of systemic racism. I know people are going to jump down my throat, but like voter ID laws, that is an example of systemic racism. Usually in more conservative areas, they try to make it so that poor people in general, but those poor people happen to be black, they try to make it so that it's very difficult for them to vote. So, for instance, instead of doing like a 7 to 7 a.m. kind of a 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. thing, they'll cut it down to like a 9 to 5, which makes it difficult for people who are working 9 to 5s to do it. They'll also make it difficult to vote on Sundays. And in a lot of poorer areas, they are very religious, and they'll take a church bus on Sundays to go vote. Well, if they make it so you can't vote on Sundays, it's very difficult to happen. Especially, it's very difficult for you to vote. Especially since transportation might be an issue in a very poor area, right? They'll make it so that you can't like hand out food or drinks on the lines. They'll cut down the amount of areas that people have to vote. They'll generally target specific actions, right? This is something that even Christopher Wallace, which I love Christopher Wallace, even acknowledged on Fox News. Like, this is a thing that's happening, and it would be considered a form of systemic racism. So it does exist in some areas. It's obviously not as impactful as it used to be. I would honestly go as far, I'm not going to get super political, this is something that I would be a long-form discussion, but I would consider like welfare a form of systemic oppression in general to anybody who's on welfare, but especially poor communities. I don't think that it really provides opportunity, specifically in very poor areas. It kind of just stabilizes people, and it makes them like, a kind of a victim to whichever party is supporting welfare more, which was the Democratic Party. And so like you're forced to not really be able to vote in a way that you may want to vote, right? So that's why I'm a UBI guy. That's a whole other conversation for a different day, which is reforming our welfare system in America. But I'm not going to get too political on this right now.
If I asked how Petty Paige was oppressed, she probably wouldn't even come up with an answer. That's how stupid she is. Here she goes.
Why so mean? Jesus Christ.
Again, claiming that all black people are oppressed.
Where?
She states, white women gets pushed to the ground and cuffed in protest. Gets a whole ass interview. Black person gets beat up by police. Crickets. I get white people don't experience police brutality, but you gotta see who you are choosing to give a platform and a voice to. It's not.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. I understand the fundamentals of what Petty Paige is saying. I mean, obviously there are whole BLM riots over a black person getting like beat up. But here's what I will say is that, like, yeah, white people, we're getting super fucking political in this video. There is a different perception of white people versus black people, especially like white women versus black women. White women tend to be seen in society as like the damsel in distress, like victim, and black women. There is a stereotype in society that black women are very masculine and they can deal with their own shit and they don't get the same media coverage. Usually we do have a more white focus, honestly. That's why that's why Kyle Rittenhouse happened. A bunch of white people killing each other became the center narrative for BLM for like a year, which is bizarre, right? Like that's very bizarre. It is a very real thing, man. Like, yeah. They're usually what, and it comes down to palatability. Like, we have a lot of white people in America, so like white people they find we were talking about it before, the perception of unfamiliar people to people of the different races. White people see white people as more human. Black people see black people as more human. We have more white people in society, therefore, and not only that, but the dominating beauty standard is generally like white people with like thinner noses, and like straighter hair, et cetera, et cetera. So people that look like that, like white people want to consume more people that are white, and so they feel worse for them, and the media picks up on that, and they're trying to make money, so they tend to suppress black issues, generally speaking. Obviously with BLM going on, we're talking more about black issues, but even in that sense, it tends to be rather performative. We don't really care until it's like an election cycle, and then that's when like the news starts to use black issues as a token. There's a lot to talk about here, but yeah, I mean, the fundamentals of what she's saying is not untrue. I don't know about this specific instance, but it is the truth, man.
Gotta see who you are choosing to give a platform and a voice to. It's not us. She's ignoring the fact that black people do get a platform. She's just cherry-picking one interview for her own excuse to complain. Petty Paige thinks because people are white, they don't deserve to be platformed. The next tweet says,
that's not what I got out of that. I just got more of like there's an unequal representation of black people in the media when it comes to, you know, we went over it, but like, yeah, I don't get that. I feel like this is not the truth.
The overwhelming amount of non-POC in the comments. I wish sometimes y'all would shut up and leave that section to the people most affected. Too many white people over talking minorities. If your sentence starts with, I'm not by POC, but just stop there.
Not to be an asshole, this guy is kind of engaging in like the talking over minorities. You're kind of minimizing like every issue of like a BIPOC person here. Very insensitive. Like I understand it because I used to be like a dumb white guy, and I've done my best to try to educate myself. And I say I'm not fully educated, but like, yeah, man, you're kind of proving the point here a little bit. You're kind of speaking over and you're diminishing. It's just like a common like black people are too sensitive like argument. You know what I mean? And it's very dismissive, and I think that you should listen. You don't have to like Petty Paige, and we can acknowledge it. It seems like Petty Paige does use races. She plays the race card even when it's not appropriate. But fundamentally, like what she's saying isn't like inherently wrong. You know? Yeah. This is the problem with the commentary community, I think, is that once people decide they hate a person, like there's everything's bad faith. It's like, for instance, Keemstar Sniper Wolf thing. Not a big fan of Keemstar, but he was 100% correct on the Sniper Wolf situation. But everybody's like, oh, well, it's Keemstar, he's bad, so that means that like Sniper Wolf is fine. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It becomes very unintelligent. We just shout over each other, and it makes me feel like people are only right sometime. They're only right on accident. So like it just seems like, hey, well, whatever like Def Noodles, whatever Keemstar says is wrong. So like he's wrong, and then when he's right, because it's just countering Keemstar's narrative, it's just because he's anti-Keemstar, not because necessarily. I mean, Keemstar's wrong a lot, but you know what I'm saying. So it's like, well, it's whatever the opposite of what Keemstar says, and so like you're just gonna be right 90% of the time because Keemstar's mostly wrong. But you get my point. But it's not because they're actually right or wrong. It's because they're just going against whatever the person that they don't like's narrative is. And that's a problem, I think. And one of the problems too is that it's very acceptable to hate Petty Paige because she makes videos that like people don't agree with, and I don't agree with a lot of her videos, a lot of her content either. I don't agree with a lot of her like takes on Trisha and whatnot. I made a whole video going through her last thing. I didn't agree with it, but people like she's not liked by. I don't think that she's really liked by a lot of people. She doesn't really have like a core. I don't know. She doesn't seem to have like a community of people that like will sit with her. From what I've seen, she's in the drama sphere, and everybody hates Trisha in the drama sphere. So like she has no friends, you know. And I know I'm in the drama sphere of it too, but like I kind of have like I feel like I have a different community because I'm a little bit in politics and drama and social issues, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, so that's why it's very palatable. This is one of the problems where people won't call people out if they're considered a hated figure. It doesn't matter if you're right or wrong. It's more about like, well, nobody's going to defend that person. So yeah.
And proceeds to take a picture of herself looking down at white people.
Did you just catch that? Hold on. I'm going to blast the volume. Trigger warning here. Hold on. Just listen to what this motherfucker...
Just stop there. And proceeds to take a picture of herself looking down at white people.
That's fucking Nicki Minaj, you fucking asshole. Right? It's Nicki Minaj. Or is it Cardi B? I don't know. It's fucking Nicki Minaj. I'm pretty sure this is not Petty Paige. This is literally Nicki Minaj, right? I have to be... I can't spell her name. Bro, this is Nicki Minaj. This is fucking Nicki Minaj. You're saying that that's Petty Paige taking a picture of herself? Brother, that's Nicki Minaj, bro. Okay. You know, Petty Paige might say that's racist because you think all black people look the same. This is definitely Nicki Minaj, right? I just didn't know if I got the name right because I'm an old fucking boomer. Bro, this isn't even... I'm looking up Nicki Minaj looking down on Google right now. I'm not seeing it. I wish I could. Then I could be like, bro, look at this. But that's not even Petty Paige. It's just funny. It's not that big of a deal, but it's just like fucking funny, bro. It's just fucking ridiculous. It's absurd.
Just stop there. And proceeds to take a picture of herself looking down at white people.
Come on.
She wants white people to shut up just because of their skin color. This is how stupid Petty Paige is. She tries.
That's what you call white fragility, brother. She's not really saying white people shut up. I think she's really just saying, like, I'd rather have people of color or BIPOC people, you know, insert their opinions on a particular issue rather than white people. That's fair. It is a little, and like, listen, I'm like the last guy. Usually, I'm not like, oh, white fragility, but like, you're just so wrong that we have to get like SJW-ish here, man. I'm just saying, she's not even really that divisive. What she's saying isn't really that bad. Like, I've seen a lot worse, and like, she's being pretty reasonable in some of these comments when referring to white people. I'm not saying the last stuff that she doesn't like again, but it's
so
I don't know,
just
bro.
to be stupid at this point. Too many white people talking over minorities. That's so f***ing funny. I'm sorry
That's not. It's kind of a problem, bro.
there are more white people than black people. Petty. Not everything is even. I've never cringed so hard looking at one tweet before.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Not everything's like, I don't understand. What are you trying to say? Like, you know, white, shut up, black person. I don't understand.
Or Petty Paige just manages to top.
I think it's more of like a, hey, like, let's say I made a post about God of War on Twitter, right? I was like, hey guys, I'm excited for the new God of War. And then a bunch of fucking people who hated God of War or like didn't even know what it was were like, bro, this game seems fucking lame. I'd be like, dude, shut the fuck up. This post is for people who like God of War. I want to see less people who don't even know what God of War is commenting on it. That's kind of what she's talking about, because the center topic seems to be like, oh, you know, systemic racism in some capacity. So I want less white people to comment on it because they're just diminishing my experience. And you're like, oh, bro, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? I get it. I understand what she's saying, you know?
That. Oh wait, there's an even worse tweet. More white people in the villa. Sad emojis because she's.
I don't even know what that means.
Even worse tweet. More white people.
More white people in the villa for a show sponsored by Just Eat UK. There is no flavor, no spice. Okay. What's up with this girl's nose, bro? I'm sorry. That was inappropriate.
In the villa, sad emojis because she's one of those people that can't stop using emojis. For a shower sponsored by Just Eat UK, there is no flavor, no spice, hashtag Love Island, then proceeds to use one of the most basic images I ever seen. But
I mean, I think that's what we call a meme. I think she's memeing a little bit. She's saying that there's not a lot of black representation or BIPOC representation and saying that like BIPOC people are the flavor that's missing from it. So
most of the people in the image are white, just ruining her own point. In this next,
how does that ruin her own point? That like proves her point. I'm so confused, brother. How old are you, man? I'm not even trying to be rude. I feel like you're a little behind. Damn, I'm so used to people being like very educated on like systemic racism that I forgot that there's so many people who aren't. I will say the video is I think the video is like well done. It looks nice visually. It has like a nice flow to it. It's just you're kind of off on some of your points, brother.
Next image, Petty Paige creates a fake scenario in her head just to get herself angry. It's
so funny is that like while this Mysterious Tease video is going on, like this is like it's so funny the different communities that criticize her for different things, because the community like the anti-Trish community would criticize her for like invalidating Mysterious Tease video in this instance. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, like they're criticizing her for saying systemic racism is bad. I don't know.
Starts off with saying, imagine black woman walking in the countryside causing complaints, frown emoji.
Imagine old white people thinking the country belongs to them. What? BBC hits back as Countryfile viewers moan about the feature on black women's walking group. Historically, some groups have felt less able than others to take part in outdoor activities. Any initiative which seeks to address the balance is to be welcome. Okay, so it seems like white people are complaining about trying to make a more inclusive space for BIPOC people. Okay.
Imagine old white people thinking the countryside belongs to them. Sorry, I don't even know what reaction the emoji is displaying. And I've never seen old white people saying that the countryside belongs to them or anything. There's just more tweets. Like, there's too many at this point. She said,
well, I think that you should have read the thing that they put in here. It seems like there's white people complaining about black. Like, it seems like white people in this instance are complaining about an initiative to make a more safer space for BIPOC people, or black people rather, to be safe in this area. And the white people are like, oh, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, that's what the argument is.
Displaying anything. What the f*** is wrong with people? Mediocre.
Let's keep this mediocre actors awards just because she's a terrible actress. She did not deserve the
white people been winning this whole time.
She was the
Becky,
best
when black people
win, because of all this BLM and woke crap, we have to wonder if an actress got her
awards. This is what you.
Okay, I mean, I don't know what they're referring to. People are mean as hell. What the fuck's wrong with people? Mediocre white people been winning this whole time, and I'm Becky. When black people win awards, this is what y'all do every time. You did the same thing when Halle Berry and Monsters Ball. We aren't. If we aren't playing slave rules, we can't.
This whole time, Becky, when black people.
So okay, yeah. There is an argument to be made that like sometimes awards are kind of just given out because of what a social narrative. I mean, not to be rude, but Caitlyn Jenner won fucking Woman of the Year, like the first year that they were like passively trans. I'm not trying to be rude. So it does exist. And people are like, oh, black person just won because of that. It's possible they did. It's also possible that they didn't. And then Petty Paige is just responding and saying like, oh, you guys, like, you're always trying to diminish black people. Any chance you get. It's valid criticism. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. I think it's a reasonable point, though. I don't know why we're having a fucking meltdown over these points, though.
Mediocre white people been winning this whole time. Becky, when black people win awards, this is what y'all do every time. You did the same with Halle Berry in Monsters Ball.
You don't know who Halle Berry is, bro? What the fuck? This guy doesn't know who Nicki Minaj, or because he said Halle Berry. You don't know who Nicki Minaj is or Halle Berry, bro? What the fuck? What are you living on a goddamn rock? Have you ever jerked off before? I'm just kidding. Halle Berry, I think Nicki Minaj is hotter, honestly. I just like the bigger bodies, but Halle Berry is attractive, you know?
If we aren't playing slave roles, we can't win.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it might be kind of true, man. You know what's so interesting? We're gonna go off on a tangent now about these movies. It's very interesting, and I remember watching a video about this a while ago, and it really resonated with me. Is a lot of like slave movies were from like the white perspective, where the white person was like the white guy back in the day of the horrible slavery racisms he's one of the good whites, and then you follow his story and you feel like you identify with that character. You're like, see, I'm a good white person. I wouldn't have a slave. It's like, wow, what a fucking profound thing. Like, that's wow, you're setting the bar real high for yourself. You know what I'm saying? It is very interesting, and a lot of movies that talk about black issues tend to be from a white perspective. Now, it makes sense because white people are consuming it more. It does play on like white people's savior role as people, which I don't think it's exclusively to white people. We just happen to be the dominant narrative. And of course, like, it has the positive of being like, oh, look, it's a pro-black movie from a white perspective, but it does tend to drown out the black perspective in the black movie. You know, we view a lot of these like movies from like a white lens. You know, yeah, it's just kind of true.
That last line I just heard was complete stupid. It's just cringe, her completely saying that, oh, we're slaves, make that a big deal even though that happened hundreds of years ago and you keep forcing it down our throats.
I just feel like you didn't even listen to what she said. What the fuck, bro? Like, what are you doing, dog? You made me really, like, unironically cringe, brother. Like, she was just saying that the only time black people win roles is when they play slaves. And, like, what she's trying to basically say, if you dig through the argument, is the only time black people seem to win is when they're playing, like, a role that makes white people feel better about themselves for racism. You can disagree with it, but, like, you literally just like, oh, she's bringing up slavery again. It was like, that's not really what she was doing. She wasn't, like, complaining about slavery. She was just bringing up the types of roles that seem to need to exist, you know, in order to, for black people to win. Also, did Denzel Washington ever win a fucking Emmy? I mean, like, has he ever won? Because, like, that, to me, proves racism exists. You know what I'm saying? If Denzel Washington has never won whatever award, I feel like he hasn't. Then, like, that's... Bro, who the fuck else? Like, Denzel Washington's incredible. I don't think he's ever won an award. That guy's fucking amazing. So that, I mean, I was, like, memeing at first, but it's kind of true, man. The guy was incredible, and I don't think he's ever really won something, which is kind of fucked up, like an Emmy or anything, which is fucked up. Because he's an incredible actor, bro. I remember watching him. Bro, do you remember... Did he win for Training Day? Okay, you remember that movie where he went into the hospital and like put the gun to the guy? He's like, fucking fix my son. That shit was fucking nuts, man. That movie was good. He's good in everything, dude. You won an Oscar? All right, maybe I'm wrong.
Make that a big deal even though that happened hundreds of years ago and you keep forcing it down our throats.
Bro, this is... Dude, I hate it. I hate it. I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh my God. I've never before in any video, like, actually used the word white fragility, unironically. But, like, bro, the fact that you're so sensitive to hearing about racism to a point where you're not even taking her message normally, that's a you problem, bro. That is like a white fragility. Like, you're tired of hearing about racism or you're tired of hearing about slavery. It's like, holy fuck. It's crazy, dude. What the fuck? Come on, man. Come on, brother.
I don't care, Petty. Also for the awards section,
Clearly.
I'm going to have to ask you who deserves the awards and who doesn't. Let's say, for example, Quentin Tarantino wins an award for making a banger film. For example, The Hateful Eight.
I already get it. Hateful Eight wasn't that good, though. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Oh, wait, did I watch that? Oh, no, I didn't watch... Wait, did I watch The Hateful Eight? I don't remember what I watched.
That was a good... Oh, that was a racist film. Too bad. All of Quentin Tarantino's film have to include a racial slur. Okay. I'll pick a good film. Django Unchained. That's a good example.
That's a
In
good
the
movie.
film,
I like
the
that a
main
lot.
character is black, and he probably did get an award for the film. I'm just...
Yeah, but it's interesting because that German guy was like the white representation where you're supposed to kind of live through them if you're a white guy. And at the end of the movie, what's really fucked up is like because of that white guy's pride, he basically fucked everybody up. I never really looked at it like that, but at the end, he instead of taking the L, paying the guy, he fucking shot him because he hated him so much, and that caused a lot of problems for the main character. And it was only because of like weird Matrix movie shit that he was able to get away. It's very interesting.
Guessing he would have likely because that was such a good performance. Let's say he did win an award, that would disprove Petty's point. We got one
don't know what
final
the fuck we're
tweet
talking
of
about.
Petty being stupid once more. I don't talk my viewers on race and racism on my channel anymore, because inevitably, no matter what side of the fence I fall regarding my opinion, people are gonna call me a racist. Nobody hates white people. 90% of my sub base is white. Would it be pretty stupid to hate them?
You know what? So I'm going to say that I doubt this guy picked up on it. So here's what I would get out of this is like first and foremost, Paige talks about how 90% of like the commentary community is white, and like that's why they don't want her there. But then she claims that 90% of her commentary or her subs are white, which to me like kind of disproves that, because it seems like if white people are the most people supporting you, you can't really make the argument that like white people don't want you in the space. That's where I would focus more on, like that issue. People do hate white people. It is a growing narrative. It used to be a meme to fucking, well, this was in 2019 where like it was still a meme. So, but nowadays, like, yeah, there's people do hate white people. There is like it's becoming more acceptable to be hateful to white people. I hate having to say it because I'm not a fucking victim, but it's real. But like it's 2022 now. You have to look at this through the lens of 2019, because like back then it was still kind of a meme, you know, of like hating white people. Now it's becoming like kind of mainstream.
90% of my sub base is white. Would it be pretty stupid to hate them? Well, I'm sorry, Petty. You do hate them. As seen earlier in my video essay,
So far, you haven't really shown me anything that makes me feel like she hates white people. She might play the race card, but she doesn't seem to hate white people.
have constantly manipulated your audience.
And if she does, it's because people like you, man, are taking her out of context so horribly that she's just starting to get frustrated with white people. I mean, I'm just being honest, man.
To target and harass the commentary community. And using your audience's race as an excuse is pretty weak.
I thought this was relevant to the video. It's not.
And Petty, the hard truth is that
I think I reviewed her video here, and I like disagree with her on most points, except for the generally like validating stuff that Mysterious used. Like I'm gonna keep saying it. I know, like, you know, talking about like, oh, he was a really good guy and crime rates were low and like blah blah blah, and he had like a golden, you know, or purple heart. Like these are the Bronze Star. These things are generally invalidating when you focus on like how good of a person. Like this guy couldn't have raped this person because they're so good, you know. Yeah.
that you are a racist. I know it's hard for you to understand because you're such.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. We'll time you out. All right? Don't tell me to watch something else, you fucking asshole. I'm 26 minutes into this fucking video. You're like, can you watch something else? Leave the stream, bro. I'm not trying to be a dickhead, bro, but shut the fuck up. I hate it when people do that. This isn't like your stream, dude. I'm like 26 minutes into a video. Like, can you watch something else? Go turn on fucking Pokemon. Like, go. I don't know what to tell you, brother. Shut the fuck up, dude. I hate that shit. I'm sorry I'm getting so irritated, but it's like, what a presumptuous thing to do, to come into somebody's stream when I'm doing like a segment. I'm like 26 minutes in. Like, it's not even a meme video. And the first thing you're like, bro, can you watch something else? Bro, check this out. Go to Twitch and like go watch MasterChef on like fucking any of the top streamers. Go to fucking Pokemon and watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Go watch this. Here, I'll put it in my chat for you. I don't know how this isn't like a DMCA strike, but like, be my guest. Go do that, bro. So.
Such a hypocrite. Then underneath she has a gif saying, I lay out all the facts. Petty, I swear I'm gonna pop a vein. You only said one correct thing during this entire video essay, and I only accidentally came across it while reading out this Twitter thread.
Okay.
Please shut up. Since that first bit of drama I was talking about, there has been plenty more, sadly, because she won't give up.
drama.
She seems persistent on ruining her own reputation. Since the last bit of drama, Petty Paige posted a thread saying, "The only reason I won't debate Augie is because it's literally of no use. I actually feel for him because I'd be mad if Nick or Dustin did the same to a content creator who I dislike. I truly and honestly want Augie to understand that my visceral reactions when it comes
I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what the context is.
to race discussion is because I've lived it, but I'm never going to think it's productive to have a conversation with someone about race who calls themselves a proud Asian when they are not and have openly said they are doing that as a goof or a joke."
Man, it seems like a reasonable criticism. Like, listen, I understand jokes. Like, it sounds like Augie might have made like a joke about how he's like a proud Asian or whatever. That's whatever. You do you. Edgy joke, be my guest. But generally speaking, people who make edgy jokes about the people of different races aren't super receptive to like deep conversations about systemic racism. So I can understand why she said that. I don't know the full context, but I'm just saying.
Well, Petty, you shouldn't be the one deciding which person's which race, since you are a racist yourself. But at least you did get one thing right.
Now look, that's her looking down. It's not Nicki Minaj.
He isn't Asian, but according to his Wikipedia page, he's part German. But that could be a lie, so who knows? Except for him. And at some point, we just have to be able to say we are just never going to agree. It's just not much of a debate, when I know my reaction will be unequivocally disagree, or sit around arguing the semantics of words and their impact or meaning. It's just a non-discussion. Petty, the only person who's causing the problem is you. You don't even want to have the discussion in the first place, so you have no room to talk. There's no benefit if Augie and me agree to talk, cameras on, audience off, and post in full to both our channels without the bravado. The show, the hype, human to human, I'd be open to that. But anything else outside those parameters, I'm not willing to do.
I don't know why she's continuously going on about it, though, if you were like, I don't want to do it, but okay.
Want to end it like adults and get that closure because it's clear it's still affecting you. I'm down to do that. You down? She claims it's still affecting Augie even though she's the one bringing it up, even though earlier she refused to do a debate, and she tries talking down to Augie like he's a child.
Oh, well, he is younger. If he's 20, he is kind of a child. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I was 20 once, but, you know. I don't know. I guess I'm just not bad faith. Look, I got it perfect on the thing. Like the conclusion. I guess it's just like I'm good faithing her, and people usually don't do that. So it's possible she's just being a condescending bitch. I don't really know.
Unable to handle criticism. Petty Paige has proved from blocking nearly everyone that she can't take criticism, which is mostly shown when Augie RC tried to debate her and refused to debate him. If you think
I think a one instance isn't really a good way to say that they're not open to criticism.
this is bad, it gets much worse. Slander.
Wow.
It can be concluded from the evidence provided from slandering to being a massive hypocrite. Petty Paige easily displays slandering whenever she is involved with anything involving the commentary community. For example, when she started talking about Augie on her Twitter page, accusing him.
I think it would be better if you had more than one example. This doesn't seem to be too much. Like, listen, again, it's quite possible that Petty Paige is just massive hypocrite. I don't know if I've seen anything hypocritical here. Right, like, well, the definition of a hypocrite, you know, is it's usually like when you say one thing or you go against your own general moral values. I don't know if I've seen an example of hypocrisy. Yeah, the practice of claiming to have a moral standards or beliefs to which one's behavior does not conform to. Yeah, I don't see that. Maybe you could have said something else, but like you're using one example, so it should have just been like, oh, I don't know. I guess it's just a clickbaity title. I guess I do that too sometimes, but.
Of being racist when she got a DM from a random fan who never provided any evidence. Another time she accused Augie of harassing her after she refused to do a debate with him. Also saying he doesn't understand what consent is. She also defended Deaf Noodles, claiming that people hated him because of his race. Petty
Maybe. I mean, I didn't get that from what she was saying. I don't know.
Paige does not care how much damage she does to one person just to make herself appear to be on the moral high ground, proving that she likes to constantly slander others. Cowardice. The next move she pulls after slandering her enemies is cowardice.
Bro, you're just recapping the video.
When she is caught making these false accusations, she resorts to playing the victim just to make herself look like she's on the moral high ground, when in fact she can't defend herself. This is shown perfectly when she refuses to debate Augie RC trying to accuse him of harassing her and telling him he doesn't know what consent is, then proceeds to mute him from her Twitch chat. This all proves that she plays the victim and slanders anyone who goes against her beliefs.
I just wish we had more than one fucking instance, bro. You know what I mean?
Racism and false accusations. When she can't think of anything to accuse anyone she doesn't like of doing, it's accusing them of being a racist, which has been shown all throughout her main.
Yeah, it's possible that she does all these things, but like one instance isn't enough to show me like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I need to see it all.
Argument against the commentary community. Her first use of this accusation was shown when one of her fans tried falsely accusing Augie's chat of racism, claiming that they were making lynching jokes.
I saw a couple of lynching jokes, so you know.
Then she proceeds to complain that the commentary community wants her gone because of her skin colour. Later on, Petty Paige claimed that people didn't like Deaf Noodles because of his race, which was a complete lie. But her entire arguments go out the window.
Well, now that I know that he's Brazilian, I don't like him. I'm just kidding. I didn't. You know, I don't really dislike people per se. I didn't really like the misinformation campaign kind of a deal with Keemstar, specifically on the Sniper Wolf thing, because I think she did a really shitty thing. She promised to talk to a kid that was dying of cancer, and then she tried to back out on it, and that was really shitty. Like she was like, "Oh, we can do it another day, but I'm really busy." Like that's basically your dad saying, like, "Sorry, son, I'm not gonna hang out with you ever. We got divorced," you know.
A huge amount of tweets of her attacking people for being white. For example, when she complained that
you didn't show a single one where she was attacking white people, brother. I'm just saying.
There were too many white people in the commentary community, and when she complained about there being too many white people in her replies on Twitter.
Well, I don't think she was making a point that there are too many white people in the commentary community. I think she was saying that she's not welcome because there's so many white people that are like racist. And I don't agree with that. I think that's her using her race as an excuse. But the next one where she's like, "Hey, we're talking about like BIPOC issues. I wish there were less white people talking." It's not an attack on white people. That's just like a hey, you know, like stop. Because most of the replies are probably like people like you who just don't really have like a deep understanding of systemic racism or anything, and you're just like, shut up. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, fuck you. You're just a sensitive black person. That's a vibe I got out of this, man. I'm sorry. It just is.
Paige accuses others of racism while she herself is a racist, proving that she is a massive hypocrite.
Maybe. I haven't really seen anything like super racist. Like it seems like maybe sometimes she like accuses people of being racist, but I haven't really seen it, man.
So far, she has slandered others and plays the victim when she is cornered. Hypocrisy.
Do we have like another
One thing
video?
that Petty Paige has proved constantly is that she is a complete hypocrite. It began with her racism arguments against Augie ROC when she herself was constantly complaining about white people for doing just about anything that she doesn't like. Another great example is when she
Is there a lot of racism or systemic racism in England? I honestly couldn't say. I really don't know. I don't really know. There's probably racism in England. I would imagine it's not as bad as over here. We have a very deep history of that, but I don't really know. But like, it's still possible. It's probably true. I mean, like you'd still see the issues of like generally speaking. So that you'd probably still see like the issues of like some kind of like an implicit bias or like a subconscious bias, because again, we were talking about how people perceive other people, like other unfamiliar people of different races, as less human. You know. You probably see a little bit of that. You probably will see like there's going to be like a particular Western beauty standard issue over there. So there's probably instances. I mean, I don't know how deep colonization runs, but there's probably examples of that as well. You know, because fucking England loves to colonize the fuck out of shit. So yeah, I'm sure you do see it. I doubt it's as bad as over here, but I'm sure it's over there.
After slandering anyone she doesn't like,
like just general race. I don't know about systemic. I don't really know, but you get my point. Like there's probably still an impact of racism over there.
He tried debating her. She tried to accuse him of harassing her and saying he didn't understand what consent is, proving that Petty Paige is a complete hypocrite, showing that she cannot formulate any decent arguments to defend her point.
Well, so the way that you establish she's a hypocrite is by saying that like, hey, racism is bad while she is racist. I don't think that you can make that argument. I haven't seen any area where she's been racist. Not in this video. If there is areas, then like you failed as a content creator to display that point where she's being racist while calling out racism. So that's kind of like on you. Haven't seen it. I can't say that there's any hypocrisy from what you've displayed to me. Right? Like it's kind of your responsibility to show me like, hey, this is a thing that's happening. Nothing here. There's nothing here, brother.
Manipulation of audience. All throughout the points I've displayed, she manages to make it worse until there is no more words to describe her. Petty Paige has manipulated her audience to see the entire commentary community as a bunch of racists, and tried to use Augie RSC as a punching bag, making them believe that Augie was harassing her and that he did not understand what consent was, and making out to her audience that she was the victim, making herself avoid the responsibility of defending her points to back up her lies. She made one of the commentary community's biggest detractors, Deaf Noodles, into looking like a victim of racism. Petty Paige truly does it all, including slander, cowardice, falsely accusing others of being racist.
She does cowardice, guys.
Racist, being a hypocrite, and manipulating her audience to believe anything she says and does.
Great. I then challenged her to come on my live stream, to which she replied, "I'm too busy sticking shit up my asshole for OnlyFans." That was...
She didn't actually talk about shit in her asshole, though. Not the one I've seen. I wonder, I mean, maybe I'd watch that, but...
genuinely her reply, and it's probably, to this day, one of the worst replies I'll ever get on Twitter.
Why are you afraid of a conversation?
Make a video, okay? Make a video.
I did! I already debunked you!
People on a fucking third person. Why do you want this interaction with fuck off?
Well, actually, I called Deaf Noodles out, and Deaf Noodles, in response to me calling him out, said that I was going after
It
him.
literally just says montage here. Okay, so this is like a waste of the ending. Okay.
Called me racist. This, it prompted me to, use to elaborate.
I know we've all drifted the lolly at some point or another. We have at some point in our life.
Why'd you throw Vosh at the end? Wait, hold on. I'm curious about like what's that. Why did you throw Vosh in at the end of here? What the fuck?
And then she refused to elaborate.
I know we've all jerked at the lolly at some point or another.
Why? What the fuck?
Well, we have at some point in our lives been going fucking crazy on some hentai site, and we've been fucking stroking as hard and fast as we can, and then after we nut, we go back.
I don't know what to say about that. I'm going to assume he was saying that like you've accidentally come across something. I don't even know. I felt like okay. I don't even know why that was in there. Is that like a common thing to just put Vosh talking about? Okay, that fucking threw me
People
off.
are open.
That just threw me the fuck off, bro. Okay, so let's give the criticism. First and foremost, I mean, like, the video was made well. Like, it was cut up well and all that. Not enough information, though. You use one instance to try to push something. It doesn't really work if you only have, like, one. Like, hey, this one bad thing happened. This doesn't prove somebody's entire character. Sometimes people can just have bad days, and they can get into arguments and just be bad in those particular arguments. Just a fundamental, profound lack of understanding of systemic racism in a way that I never knew was possible. Like, I guess it's like he's a common man. Yeah, it was just fucking crazy. I don't know. I don't know, man. I would try to just listen to some people talk about it, because that was fucking insane to me. You know, keep up your grind, though, brother. Holy fuck. What's my favorite Among Us map? I have to piss. Among Us is gay. Gay Among Us.